Welcome to the Corner Office, where we bring you the latest news from the world of commercial real estate, the greatest voices in the industry, and the corporate chats you've been missing. Let's get to it.
Hi guys, welcome to the Financial Bunny TV. My name is Nicolette Mashila. I'm also known as the Financial Bunny. And I'm really excited because I'm hosting one of Galetti Corporate Real Estate's first podcast. It's called the Corner Office. Now, if you want to know all things business, money, investment, where do you put your money? How do you grow your money? Who should you be actually listening to? Because a lot of voices out here speaking about money, how to grow your investments. But this is probably the podcast that you definitely want to get acquainted with. It's going to bring you some of South Africa's cream of the crop in terms of just absolutely money and investments. And today I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with a joint Managing Director of Auction at Galetti. His name is Guy Dowding, and he's actually got a famous dad. So Guy, welcome to Financial Bunny TV.
Oh, thank you very much for that introduction. I'd say my dad's not so famous, but my great-grandfather possibly is famous to some historians.
Yes. So if you are sitting right now and you're thinking, who is this gentleman? Please tell us what your great-grandfather's name is so they can Google.
His name was Hugh Dowding, and he was Vice Air Marshal of the RAF back in World War I.
So I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to be speaking a lot about auctions today, right? Commercial auctions. And we had the opportunity last year to go to the first auction, right? How crazy was that?
Wow. It was better than I could ever expect. It was mind-blowing experience, and I'm so glad that you took the opportunity to come and join us on that day. It was very exciting for all of us, and I believe it was a resounding success, and we're super excited to continue this journey here.
Please, man, I was stuck in traffic at some point, so we went there with my property stock file. So two of my guys were there already. And I'm stuck in traffic, but I'm literally watching this thing online, and things are moving so quickly. Like, how? How do you guys get that right?
Auctions, it's a very fast-paced environment. Basically, what I like to say, it's sales on steroids. So everything is go.
Yes.
And it just does not stop. And that's why we love it. It's fun and it's exciting. And that's why we're here.
Here's one thing I know that you love more than auctions. It is your twin boys.
Absolutely. So much love for them.
Yeah.
You know, family comes first.
Yeah.
They are my everything. Super honored that I believe, I feel like I was chosen almost. My partner and I were chosen to give birth to two beautiful twin boys. It's not in our family. It was completely natural. So we are over the moon and honored to be parents of such incredible boys.
Yeah, you guys have another auction coming up.
That's correct.
Very exciting.
Super exciting.
What are you guys expecting from it?
Sure. We are expecting nothing short of phenomenal. It is going to be our second multi-property auction. And if our first one's anything to go by, this is going to be an exceptional experience.
And when you say multi-property auction, can you break that down a little for us?
Absolutely. When we talk about a multi-property auction, we talk about multiple properties going up to the market, one location at one time. Obviously, we like to present to the market anywhere between 20 to 30 opportunities. And that's what we call a multi-property auction. And also, on top of that, it's obviously a variety of properties. We don't just focus on a certain sector. We actually focus on national, anything national. So doesn't matter where the wind blows us, we look at the opportunity, and we look at everything from commercial, industrial, retail, residential, development land, you name it, we do it.
And just to give you guys a picture, when he speaks about a variety, we were there last year and it was block of flats, it was petrol stations, it was, office blocks. How do you guys get that right? How do you manage to be able to have a footprint in these differing industries?
I think it's very important to have a footprint, number one. Not one glove fits all.
Absolutely.
As you say, you represent stock files. We represent a whole bunch of different clientele. And these clienteles, they don't just focus on one asset group. We might be dealing with someone in the commercial sector. We might be dealing with someone in the industrial sector. It's also about our offerings. At the end of the day, we cannot just be offering one service or one type of property to the market, because there is a variety out there, and we deal with the entire country, and nationally, internationally, you name it. We deal with a whole crisscross of demands and needs from our clients. So we need to be presenting that offering to the market.
And I want to talk a little bit about the auction process, obviously, for somebody who's a potential customer. But before we get into that, let's talk about the client. So what happens? What happens before? What happens in the background that we don't get to see? You sit with the client. What are the conversations that you are having? How do you advise them in terms of how to price or wait? Was it called a bid opening price? What's it called?
Opening bid or starting bid is how we like to call it. Look, we have two types of clients, obviously. We have the sellers and we have the purchasers. Both are our clients. When we talk about a seller as a client, what basically happens from the starting, we would obviously engage with their client, find out what his requirements and needs are. We then try to fulfill those needs by offering our service, how our service could obviously make it work for them and what their requirements are. So basically from start, we would go introduce ourselves to the client. We would assess value based on our experience and property knowledge and information available at the time. We're not sworn valuators. We don't value a building professionally, but we do assess its value based on current market conditions. We provide that feedback to our sellers. And we hopefully agree to a minimum reserve price that we are both comfortable with. Obviously, sellers have an expectation. We at the same time need to make sure that expectation is in line with market expectations. So that would be the starting. We will then enter into a sole and exclusive mandate where we would set that reserve price. It's paramount that obviously that reserve price remains confidential. That is the whole point of an auction, that we do not disclose our reserve price. In doing so, if we had to disclose the reserve price, it would basically null and void an auction. The whole idea about an auction is that there is no ceiling price. There is no limit.
There's an opportunity to upsell.
You can upsell, absolutely. It's really up to the market to determine what they are prepared to pay for said assets. And we can't limit their thinking. By saying that something is worth X, they're not going to pay more than X, so to speak. So the whole idea about an auction is creating the market.
That's psychology, actually.
Exactly. So we try to create the interest and create a market around a property based on its selling points. And it's really up to the potential buyers to determine what they would pay for said asset. Our job is to get all these like-minded individuals to one location under our auction and to bid on the auction in a competitive environment. And that way, we are able to extract best value for our sellers.
So Nicolette, the Financial Bunnies has a block of flats, right? We want to be your client, so we're a seller. We come to you and we're like, okay, guy, we've got this block of flats. You guys say, we think it's worth 2 million rand. I say, but I want 2.5, right? That is the reserve price that we're discussing, right? Then you guys go to auction and you What is the limit that you put to the starting cost? What's that called?
Sometimes it depends. Auctions very much creating, as I say, the market around the property. So we utilize tools such as calls to action. So it's really about painting the right picture. Painting the property with the right brush, so to speak. What is the call to action? What is the motivation for the market to show interest and purchase said asset? So we utilize different methodologies when we talk about this, whether it's forced sales, whether it's a liquidation, a deceased estate, seller immigrating. These are all calls to action. It shows that the seller is a motivated seller. He's a willing. So we've got to paint that picture into the market. At the same time, if we don't have that call to action, so to speak, we create one by utilizing the likes of an opening bid, where we create the sense in the market that there is a massive opportunity behind here, that there's a potential that you could pick up this property for much less than what it could possibly be worth. So it's planting the seed in the market that there is an opportunity, that the seller is a motivated seller, and that if they just spend the time, put their money where their mouth is and come to auction, there's a bargain to be had. That is the idea about an auction.
I like this. I like this quite a lot. Of course, you didn't become a joint managing director of such a big corporate by, not actually getting your feet wet. And, so tell me about your first auction.
I'll tell you about the first auction I ever experienced. I think that would be a good starting point. I have been doing auctions for a little over 15 years. And I fell into this industry by accident. I was actually just an industrial broker on the East Rand, working for a very small firm. And through family friends of mine, I was invited to an auction at Inanda Club. And this was probably in 2006 or 2007, thereabouts. And it was love at first sight. Exactly what you felt when you came to ours.
Yes.
On the 30th of November last year. It was exactly that feeling.
Yeah.
There was a huge amount of excitement.
Yeah.
Not really knowing what is going on. Large amounts of money, hands being thrown up and large amounts of money being thrown around, and, just this very exciting atmosphere, which just drew me to auctions. It was, as I say, it's like sales on steroids. It was an expedited sale. It was like a point of end sale. I was experiencing brokering as a newbie to the market, and you learn a lot, and it's a long drawn out process. Well, that's how I saw it. And auctions basically condensed that sales process. That we could fundamentally do it time and time again throughout the year. And create that end of point sale. And to me, that was just very, very exciting that, we didn't lull on deals that weren't happening. We moved on. We got up and moved on. You need to keep
calling. Is this still going through?
It was just basically, you move from one to the next. It's very much like a snowball effect. As you're processing properties for your current auction, you need to be securing stock for the next one. And it's just this constant go, 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 fast-paced environment, which is very exciting to me. It really suits my character. So that's how I got into it.
Okay, well, that is quite interesting. Let's talk a little bit before we again get into the process of, from the buyer's perspective. I hear there's a difference between a sheriff auction and a clean auction.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think it's very advisable that we do educate the public to what auctions are, and that's really what we are here to do. Auctions at the end of the day is just another sales method. As I say, it's just an expedited sales method, and it doesn't fit all cases. Sometimes a private treaty sale works, sometimes an auction works, sometimes it's a seal bid, whatever the case may be. It's not one glove fits all, so to speak. So really, when it comes down to our auctions per se, we are a clean auction. What that means for a buyer is that you don't inherit any historical debt.
Oh, thank goodness.
Which is a massive relief. So when you buy a property, you know that you're going to get it on transfer, a clean slate. You're not going to inherit any arrears in rates or outstanding electricity bills or debtors accounts or anything to that effect. You're going to start from scratch, a nice clean slate. And that is beautiful. And that's what we do here. With a sheriff auction, it's more obviously bank instructions for sales, and you don't generally get the opportunity to do a thorough due diligence on the property. Sometimes the information's not always readily available. So you might not, in the short period of time, have the information available to know that there is arrears in the rates and taxes. What is the condition of the building? What are you inheriting? Is it hijacked? Are there illegal tenants in the building? Sometimes you don't get the full picture of what's actually happening. So once you've now purchased it, you inherit all these de facto points, and it can be an enormous headache for
huge
anyone.
gamble.
You could be buying a property that you think is worth $1 million, you buy it for 100,000. But at the end of the day, it's got an arrears of $1 million rand. At the end of the day, you're not really getting that bargain. So it's vital that either one, whether you're attending a sheriff's auction or one of our public auctions, that you make sure that you do the necessary homework and you get into it with your eyes wide open.
I like that because I always think when you said sheriff auction is like bank instruction, I'm like, ooh, it sounds like repossessed buildings. And I'm like, you're buying people's tears. But we'll get into that on another day. Let's talk a little bit about the process. So we're a buyer. We're ready. I'm coming in with my property stock file. I'm coming with my ladies forum, property forum, and we want to buy. What is the process that we need to go through?
Perfect. So the first things first, as I say, do your due diligence.
Absolutely.
So we don't sell properties subject. They are non-suspensive terms. What that means for them is they are not subject to anything. What that means is like you don't get the opportunity post the auction to run a due diligence. To raise finance. To sell your property first, whatever the case is, you need to go in ready, a clear picture, ready to purchase, and have the ability to purchase what you are there to purchase.
Okay.
So the first steps would be to obviously engage with the broker that's handling the property. It is vital to have sight of the building that you are looking to buy. So you want to arrange a viewing. You want to assess the facts.
Oh.
And then with all that information, you're then able to quantify what you believe the property is worth.
Yes.
And then you come prepared at the auction. What we require is that you do get your finance available and that you understand what is affordable within your realm.
Oh.
Because, as I said, our terms are non-suspensive. We require hefty deposits from a purchaser.
Yes.
Non-refundable deposits.
Yes.
So by a seller accepting your bid, you're bound by our terms and conditions, which requires you, once it has been accepted, to provide the balance of the purchase price within 40 business days. Failing which, you could forfeit your deposits as Roer Corp if you don't follow through with your contractual obligations.
Oh, wow.
So it's really important that you know what you're buying.
Yes.
You stick to your ability of your purchase price, and you stick to your guns in terms of the purchase price that you're willing to buy the property at. Don't buy beyond your means. Don't go beyond your means, because
don't push the envelope.
Don't push the envelope. Come prepared to bid to a level that you're comfortable with, that is within your means of affordability, and stick to that. That way, you know that you'll be comfortable and the transaction can go through smoothly.
I must tell you, that's how I got into financial literacy. Try to buy a house with a suspensive clause. Didn't know about it. Signed this thing. A bank pushed out a grant. And then I wanted to backtrack. And they were like, ma'am, legally bound now. Yeah. So it was quite a very interesting experience because it teaches you so much. And that's why we're here, right? To be able to teach people to say, this is how an auction works.
Absolutely. I think, without the message coming across that this is a scary, daunting experience, like, oh my word, I'm going to be bound by the thing. It's not. It's a very fun and exciting experience.
Absolutely.
That's really what it's about. It's about having fun and knowing what you purchase. But the message that needs to be put across is that do your homework. Know what you're buying.
Yeah.
Go into it with your eyes wide open, and then you won't have any issues. That's my best advice.
But the thing is, and that's the thing, education and information makes any process easier. You know, we've had people say, oh my goodness, buying a car is so much trouble. But that's because you didn't have information. Buying 100%. A house. So I think when people have information, then they at least know what to expect at the very least.
And we take pride in that. And that's really where we separate ourselves from the rest. Is that, you know, our comprehensive sales pack that we provide to the market is basically your due diligence. We don't leave any stone unturned in terms of what we provide to the market. It's basically a document that you can go raise finance against, because it's got everything that you need in order to understand the ins and outs of the property. And that is our job, is to provide the market with as much information to make a qualified decision.
So nobody's trying to trick you guys. Make sure you've got all the information.
Absolutely not.
Let's talk about who gets invited. Sure. I mean, and I'm going to be very frank.
Yep.
I walked into that auction and I was like, what secret society is this? Who are these people? But I know you called it a public auction.
Yes.
So how far do you guys go in terms of putting out information about these auctions?
As far as possible, you know, within our realm, you know, at the heart and soul of it, at the end of the day, we're a marketing company. So our results are very much driven through our marketing methods. You know, it's just, we don't just sit on our laurels and hope that we get a result in 4 weeks' time and people are just going to rock up at an auction. That's not the case. We need to be very proactive in our marketing space and get that message across to the market as clearly and as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
But I'd like to assume you guys obviously have targeted marketing that you do, right?
Absolutely.
Because you can't just be inviting every single person.
No, obviously, absolutely not. I mean, we want like-minded people that are property professionals, but at the end of the day, we encourage anyone that shows interest on our properties to attend an auction, and even those that are just there and curious to learn about how auctions work to come on down.
I'm glad to hear that, because we've got a lot of hidden gems of, you know, as I said, we went as a property stokvel, and obviously the power of numbers. You know, it's easier to raise funds when you're a group of people that are buying together, and often you find that those people are quite pushed out in the market. They don't really know about these things. So I'm now today on this podcast declaring that I'm going to help you guys in marketing on that side.
We would really
because
love
it's
that
important.
engagement.
Yeah,
it's absolutely important. I mean, we want stokvels there. I mean, that is the whole idea about it. Is you know, there's opportunities when it comes to auctions. Again, we got to fall back on the fact that you got to do your homework. But we encourage anyone that is looking to grow their wealth, to buy properties at a huge opportunity, at maybe possibly a discounted price, come to auctions, come experience the fun, come experience what we're about. It's not as daunting as you think. It really isn't.
Yeah.
And we're always there to help. We're there to ask questions. We've got a lot of property professionals there. We've got our entire Galetti corporate culture there. And so just ask away. Feel comfortable, share your stories, ask those questions.
I want to go to the one auction that you may remember where somebody's ego got the best of them. I'm sure you've seen it.
I've seen it on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
My most recent one was probably a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Where there were two gentlemen fighting it out.
Yeah.
And the one was sitting behind the other.
Yeah.
And every time we took a bid from the one guy, he would end up turning himself around, gesturing the guy behind him. And we're like, enough of that.
Yes.
But it actually, what was quite funny is how it turned out is they became such fierce competitors.
Yeah.
But eventually the guy that really wanted it bowed out for no other reason that he turned around and was like, you really want this property, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you really want this.
Yeah.
And he kind of asked it, and we generally we don't let, don't want clients talking amongst themselves, like, don't bid, don't do that. But he literally, after about 10 rounds of competitive bidding, he eventually turned around and was just like, you really, really want this. And he said, that's okay. You know what? I'll live to fight it another day. You can have it. But it was that atmosphere. It wasn't like, oh, I won or anything like that. It was fierce competitiveness. But at the end of the day, you could see they were having fun. Yeah. And I really can't stress that enough. That this is why we got into it. It's such an exciting space to be in, really.
I must tell you a secret. My people are those people, egos are they fly very high. Oh, yeah. So if you guys are going to use some great psychology, bring those people into a room, you'll see them battle it out.
Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into that because I don't want to scare anyone away. But yes, it is very much an ego-driven environment. Yeah. And that's why I say, listen, do your homework.
Yes.
Don't get caught up in the frenzy.
Yes.
Know what you're going to buy. And stick to your guns.
Yeah.
That's my best advice, because the environment
can swallow you
up, which is obviously what we want.
Yeah, discipline. It's a discipline game.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I want to go back to that just before we start wrapping up. I want to go back to that process, the bidding process. And I want you to just quickly give tips. It's probably going to be you reiterating some stuff. Let's give tips to somebody who's new into this process and they're like, listen, 1st of March, I'm there with you guys, but give me some tips.
Yeah, I think I've circled around a few of them, but the most important one is do your homework.
Yeah.
Again, do your homework, know what you're buying.
Yes.
Stick to what you know also. There's a lot of opportunities in auctions, but again, do your homework when it comes to something that is outside of your normal understanding. So that will be the first step, is knowing what you buy. I believe that every opportunity you should have an exit strategy. So always have that in mind, How do you see yourself? Don't just pick up the bargain and think you're going to hang on to this.
Yeah.
What is your strategy? Is it a 5-year plan? Is it a 10-year plan?
Yes.
Is it a quick in and out plan?
So it's well thought out.
Know what you're doing and have an exit strategy at the end of the day. And then lastly, I would say that get your ducks in a row. That's the most important thing. As I say, our terms and conditions are quite strict in the sense that, there's not a lot of leeway and leniency when it comes to the conditions. They are what they are. We require hefty deposits. You need to provide guarantees within a short period of time. It's non-suspensive, as I say. So it is vital that you know what you're purchasing, you know what your affordability is, and don't get carried away in the environment of an auction. Yeah. Know what price that you can afford and stick to that. Don't go beyond your means, because that could end up causing trouble down the line.
So strict but not punitive.
Yep.
Make sure that you have an exit plan. I think that's important for anything in life.
Absolutely.
Any investment that you're going into, you must make sure. Before we wrap up and we talk a little bit about, the one thing, and I always ask this question, is your advice to your young boys? So think about it. But before we get into that last question, I want to find out, should people stick to what they know in terms of, because you spoke about a variety of, obviously, opportunities in different industries, right? Let's say we went in there and we had planned to buy a petrol station. Somebody nicked it from us. But there's another good deal in a different industry that we don't know. Do we say a good deal is a good deal?
Absolutely. Again, a good deal is a good deal. A lot of our buyers are crossover buyers. There's an opportunity. They come there, they are prepared, they've got money to spend, and unfortunately, they might not win the opportunity that they're going for. So we're all about presenting opportunities to the market. And as we say, there's a multitude of opportunities on that day. So if they miss out on one, they can always go for another. But again, it's a fallback onto the previous questions. Know what you're getting into. Yeah. Know how to get out of what you're getting into and stick in your lane as in terms of your affordability and what you can actually do. So, we do encourage cross-pollination to bid or whatever you want. A good deal is a good deal. And it's at the end of the day, with the information that we're providing, you should be able to make that informative decision quite expeditedly. You could make that decision having looked through our brochure. The information should be comprehensive enough to give you that confidence to purchase based on the information that we're providing.
So you could even do it prior. You could have like your first win, then obviously a secondary one, and a third, like in terms of, if I don't get this one, then I can at least fall back on this opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you've taken the time out of your day, you're attending the auction, you
leave with something.
You leave with something. You're not there just to watch it all go by. Come spend. And look, as I say, we've got a lot of IP at the auctions. There's a lot of guys that you can chat to, a lot of property professionals. We're a big company. Ask those questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of people are afraid to talk about and ask those difficult questions, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to guide you and help you through this process so that you can make an informative decision.
I would be amiss to not to ask this question because it came up in the first episode that we did with your team. Somebody said, and I think you kind of alluded to it now, is it a big boys club? Is it? Do you have to have big bucks to be able to do this?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
There's an opportunity for everyone. And as you know, you represent Stokvels.
Yes.
And that is one avenue to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
As we know, it's all about harnessing the collective power. Of course. And with that opportunity, you can purchase far greater properties. I mean, to put that in the sense of, if I have 100,000 Rand deposit, it limits my ability to buy something big.
True.
But if there are 5 of us with 500,000, I can afford a lot bigger opportunity. So that is just on the, as you say, your Stokvel side of things. But there's an opportunity for everyone. At the end of the day, we have a variety of values that we take to market. It's not just your high ticket items. We obviously want those high ticket items on the auction floor, but we deal with stuff that's R1 million up to 300, 500 million Rand. Yes. So there's something for everyone. It just depends what is in your affordability.
Guys, I lost out on a block of flats in the last one. It was going, 1.2 million? And I was like, a block of flats for 1.2 million? I would walk around telling the whole world, guys, I own a block of flats.
All you need to do is put your hand up.
Oh, man, I was in the car. Listen, and we were not registered because we didn't know the process. So we're not registered.
But on that, just so you know, once you are registered, there are many ways to participate on our floor. Obviously, we want people to be there physically.
Yes.
But what is nice is obviously we do attract national and international buyers, and we need to make it accessible to everyone.
Yes.
So you can bid on the phone with one of my colleagues. You can bid via our amazing app.
Yes.
Download our app today. It's worthwhile. So whether you're in your car, you're on an airplane,
you can do it.
You can do it.
I like it. You really are a marketing team.
And you can bid. So don't be afraid. If you're not at the auction, you can still participate.
I promise you, it felt like it was in the movies because I was watching this guy on the phone and he was like,
oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Guy, absolutely fantastic. Such great information, such great nuggets. But I would not let you go without asking you, you have an opportunity to tell your boys a piece of advice that will take them through life. What is that piece of advice?
Sure. That is, it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Now we're live. Don't grow up too fast.
Ain't that the truth?
That's what mommy and daddy want. But,
Yeah.
more seriously, find something that you're passionate about and go for it.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can't do.
Yeah.
So go out and accomplish whatever you want.
And you will always be there and be their backup plan.
Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for indulging us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge, for your passion, because I can see you're really passionate about what you do.
Absolutely. I think this job is all about passion. So, but I really appreciate the opportunity, and I very much look forward to having further chats with you down the line.
Absolutely.
And thanks for the opportunity. Download, get involved, get in touch. Our next auction is on the 2nd of March.
Yeah.
It's going to be very vibey, a lot of fun, as I've said.
And they have gin, guys.
And we got gin. But we're going to be hosting this at 12 o'clock on the 2nd of March at Katie's Palace.
Ooh.
Overlooking the Sandton skyline. Come have a jaw with us. Come interact. Come buy some property. Come have some fun.
And come with your money. But make sure, I can tell you one thing, make sure you are registered, because you don't want to miss on those opportunities because you did not register. Is Guy Downing. He is a joint managing director of Galetti Auctions. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next one.